are supervised by an archangel who was assigned to such a world on the day when it was first settled in light and life. By the time a world attains the fourth stage of light and life, more than half the mortals leave the planet by translation from among the living. Such diminishment of death continues on, but I know of no system whose inhabited worlds, even though long settled in life, are entirely free from natural death as the technique of escape from the bonds of flesh. And until such a high state of planetary evolution is uniformly attained, the Morontia training worlds of the local universe must continue in service as educational and cultural spheres for the evolving Morontia progressors. The elimination of death is theoretically possible, but it has not yet occurred according to my observation. Perhaps such a status may be attained during the faraway stretches of the succeeding epochs of the seventh stage of settled planetary life. The translated souls of the flowering ages of the settled spheres do not pass through the mansion worlds. Neither do they sojourn as students on the Morontia worlds of the system or constellation. They do not pass through any of the earlier phases of Morontia life. They are the only ascending mortals who so nearly escape the Morontia transition from the material existence to semi-spirit status. The initial experience of such sun-seized mortals in the ascension career is in the surfaces of the progression worlds of the universe headquarters, and from these study worlds of Salvington they go back as teachers to the very worlds they passed by, subsequently going on inward to paradise by the established route of mortal ascension. Could you but visit a planet in an advanced stage of development, you would quickly grasp the reasons for providing for the differential reception of ascending mortals on the mansion and higher Morontia worlds. You would readily understand that beings passing on from such highly evolved spheres are prepared to resume their paradise ascent far in advance of the average mortal arriving from a disordered and backward world like Urantia. No matter from what level of planetary attainment human beings may ascend to the Morontia worlds, the seven mansion spheres afford them ample opportunity to gain and experience as teacher-students all of everything which they failed to pass through because of the advanced status of their native planets. The universe is unfailing in the application of these equalizing techniques designed to ensure that no ascender shall be deprived of aught which is essential to his ascension experience. 3. The Golden Ages. During this age of light and life, the world increasingly prospers under the fatherly rule of the planetary sovereign. By this time, the worlds are progressing under the momentum of one language, one religion, and on normal spheres, one race. But this age is not perfect. These worlds still have well-appointed hospitals, homes for the care of the sick. There still remains the problems of caring for accidental injuries, and the inescapable infirmities attendant upon the decrepitude of old age and the disorders of senility. Disease has not been entirely vanquished, neither have the earth animals been subdued in perfection. But such worlds are like paradise in comparison with the early times of primitive man during the pre-planetary Prince Age. You would instinctively describe such a realm, could you be suddenly transported to a planet in this stage of development, as heaven on earth. Human government in the conduct of material affairs continues to function throughout this age of relative progress and perfection. The public activities of a world in the first stage of light and life, which I recently visited, were financed by the tithing technique. Every adult worker, and all able-bodied citizens worked at something, paid 10% of his income or increase to the public treasury, and it was dispersed as follows. 1. 3% was expended in the promotion of truth, science, education, and philosophy. 2. 3% was devoted to beauty, play, social leisure, and art. 3. 3% was dedicated to goodness, social service, altruism, and religion. 4. 1% was assigned to the insurance reserves against the risk of incapacity for labor resultant from accident, disease, old age, or unpreventable disasters. The natural resources of this planet were administered as social possessions, community property. On this world the highest honor conferred upon a citizen was the Order of Supreme Service, being the only degree of recognition ever to be granted in the Morontia Temple. This recognition was bestowed upon those who had long distinguished themselves in some phase of supermaterial discovery or planetary social service. The majority of social and administrative posts were jointly held by men and women. Most of the teaching was also done jointly. Likewise, all judicial trusts were discharged by similar associated couples. On these superb worlds, the childbearing period is not greatly prolonged. It is not best for too many years to intervene between the ages of a family of children. When close together in age, children are able to contribute much more to their mutual training. And on these worlds they are magnificently trained by the competitive systems of keen striving in the advanced domains and divisions of diverse achievement in the mastery of truth, beauty, and goodness. Never fear but that even such glorified spheres present plenty of evil, real and potential, which is stimulative of the choosing between truth and error, good and evil, sin and righteousness. Nevertheless, there is a certain inevitable penalty attaching to mortal existence on such advanced evolutionary planets. When a settled world progresses beyond the third stage of light and life, all ascenders are destined, before attaining the minor sector, to receive some sort of transient assignment on a planet passing through the earlier stages of evolution. Each of these successive ages represents advancing achievements in all phases of planetary attainment. In the initial age of light, the revelation of truth was enlarged to embrace the workings of the universe of universes, while the deity study of the second age is the attempt to master the protean concept of the nature, mission, ministry, associations, origin, and destiny of the Creator's sons, the first level of God the Sevenfold. A planet the size of Urantia, when fairly well settled, would have about 100 sub-administrative centers. These subordinate centers would be presided over by one of the following groups of qualified administrators. 1. Young material sons and daughters brought from the system headquarters to act as assistants to the ruling Adam and Eve. 2. The progeny of the semi-mortal staff of the planetary prince, who were procreated on certain worlds for this and other similar responsibilities. 3. The direct planetary progeny of Adam and Eve. 4. Materialized and humanized midway creatures. 5. Mortals of adjuster fusion status who, upon their own petition, are temporarily exempted from translation by the order of the personalized adjuster of universe chieftainship, in order that they may continue on the planet in certain important administrative posts. 6. Specially trained mortals of the planetary schools of administration, who have also received the order of supreme service of the Morontia Temple. 7. Certain elective commissions of 3 properly qualified citizens, who are sometimes chosen by the citizenry by direction of the planetary sovereign, in accordance with their special ability to accomplish some definite task which is needful in that particular planetary sector. The great handicap confronting Urantia in the matter of attaining the high planetary destiny of light and life is embraced in the problems of disease, degeneracy, war, multicolored races, and multilingualism. No evolutionary world can hope to progress beyond the first stage of settledness and light until it has achieved one language, one religion, and one philosophy. Being of one race greatly facilitates such achievement, but the many peoples of Urantia do not preclude the attainment of higher stages. 4. Administrative readjustments. In the successive stages of settled existence, the inhabited worlds make marvelous progress under the wise and sympathetic administration of the volunteer corps of the Finality, ascenders of paradise attainment who have come back to minister to their brethren in the flesh. These Finalitars are active in cooperation with the Trinity Teacher Sons, but they do not begin their real participation in world affairs until the Morontia Temple appears on earth. Upon the formal inauguration of the planetary ministry of the Corps of the Finality, the majority of the celestial hosts withdraw. But the seraphic guardians of destiny continue their personal ministry to the progressing mortals in light. Indeed, such angels come in ever-increasing numbers throughout the settled ages, since larger and larger groups of human beings reach the third cosmic circle of coordinate mortal attainment during the planetary lifespan. This is merely the first of the successive administrative adjustments which attend the unfolding of the successive ages of increasingly brilliant attainment on the inhabited worlds as they pass from the first to the seventh stage of settled existence. 1. The first stage of light and life. A world in this initial settled stage